Morning. So, I was talking about writing my book, part one, and we sort of left part one. I was in job centre. I'd come back from travelling. I was in job centre.
Can't get to the vigil who want to remember Sabina to light a candle in her memory.
Oh, that's a poor lady. So, right, so I'd been off for 15 months. Yes, we're on my normal commute. And it's very dark. It's now winter, which is not the best time to be driving. Well, it's not winter, is it? It's still autumn now, but it's a bit chilly. First chilly day. First day I'm going to have to put heating on the motor Prius. Right, okay, so I'd been away 15 months and my bully, talked to him about him. So I'd come back, brown as anything, muscles, big muscles, not like today when I'm old. But I was pretty fit in my 20s, very fit. And I come back and bumped into my bully at school in job centre. And it was a case of, oh, do you know what? I'm twice the size of you now. And I didn't really care, you know. The memories and everything was still there, but I didn't really care. And I sat there and reeled off. He said, "Oh, what have you been doing?" And I reeled off all the countries I'd been to in the 15 months I'd been away from my town. So Spain, Portugal, Gibraltar, Austria, Germany, Holland, France, obviously, France, oh dear, where else had I been? Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, all these countries that I'd been to. And he was like, I said, "Oh, what about you?" "Oh no, just stayed here, like looking for a job." And that felt so good, so good. And I will be doing a video on bullying, just bullying, for my younger people, because it's something I'm quite passionate about, you know. I don't like it. Ever since I left school, I've not been bullied. Well, people have tried to bully me. Didn't get very far. So I don't like it. So yeah, that's got to go in the book. So I think I got to a stage in the other one of excuse me, chemo. Of did swimming pools. So I then went off and sort of did swimming pools and used to clean Roger Taylor's pool from Queen and Jeff Banks and Edward Woodward. I used to do that. That was quite fun. Found the plaster in Roger Taylor's pool. Very difficult spending an hour and a half on a pool that was indoors cleaning it. And it was always, because his pool was built with the best of the best, it was great. The clarity was perfect. It was always balanced. I think we had automatic dosing systems in it, so it just did everything itself. But we were booked in for an hour and a half to clean it because it was a bloody great big pool. So we did, and I found a plaster. So back onto my life. So I did that for a long time, couple of years, with a great guy. Then he went bankrupt. Then I'd always fancied doing me driving, which is really funny because we're in a bit of a crisis now. Yeah, I think it's a bit cold to take the bike today. I'm glad I took the car. Plus it means I get to talk to you lovely people. So I wanted to do my HGV. I thought, oh, I'll do my HGV, go lorry driving. I always fancied, I had dreams of driving lorries. You know, when you're in your dream, driving lorries. You couldn't get your HGV. I couldn't afford my HGV. It's £1,200 for my HGV just for class 2. Class 2, Class 1 is Arctics. So at that time, the government started to run a scheme on if you'd been out of work for a long time, or they did various category checks. So I went into a job centre because the swimming pool company went bust, and I turned up for work one day and the little sticker on the door saying, oh no, we've ceased trading. Oh thanks. I rung boss up, went mental. So I went to job centre and said, look, what can I do? And they're like, well, there's lots of training open. There's HGVs, there's driving. I said, well, I'll do anything. Digger driving, forklift, truck driving. If you're paying for my training, I'm going to do it. So I'm sat here and I said, yeah, okay, fine. Put me through from the HGV, ideal. Right, we'll do a category check on you, sir. Fucking ideal. How long have you been unemployed? It's about 48 hours. Right, okay, because if you've been off work for 6 months, we'll give you HGV. All right. So how long have you been off? 48 hours. Right. Well, you won't fit in that one. Registered drug dealer or drug abuser? No. Right. Criminal record? No. Right. Disabilities? No, I haven't got disabilities. Right, what about, and by now I'm getting a bit pissed off, like, because I'm ready to go, you know, I'm raring to do some training and get me thing. So then they started saying HMP, and I'm like, fucking HMP. I might just get in there with HMP. What's HMP? Her Majesty's pleasure. And back then I was a bit naive and didn't know what that means, and if people are watching and don't know what that means, have you been to prison? Her Majesty's pleasure, HMP. That's what she said, HMP. If you've been to prison, you get HGV. So because I hadn't done any of those things, because I was a good boy, I didn't get me HGV. I was like, what the fuck? So I was like, okay, this is not what I wanted to hear. So I then went away a bit disgruntled with a few little shitty jobs cards that I took off the wall, because back then you used to take them off a wall in a full Monty. When you see the little cards, you used to take the card with the job on it, go to the desk and say, oh, I'd like this job, and they would help you if you needed it. No internet, remember, so they actually worked then. I'm not too sure what they do now. So anyway, so I thought, right, well, I found all these lorry driving jobs, so I was going into the job centre and saying, look, I've rung this company. They will employ me tomorrow with my HGV, so they're going to keep it open while I do the test, and they'll employ me to drive lorries. Can you put me through my test now if I get a letter from them to say, yeah, no, we won't do that, sir. Right. So I was like, oh, okay. So the next option was, I thought, well, I'll swing the lead and stay off work for 6 months. So I thought, well, I'll just bum around. Because at that time you could do part-time work as long as you declared how much you'd earned each week. That was okay, and they took it off your benefits or something. It was quite weird back then. So anyway, so this went on for about 3 to 4 months with me finding jobs and saying, look, they want to employ me as a lorry driver. Can you pay my lorry driving? Get me down there now. I'll drive myself down there. I don't need to be picked up or nothing. No, we're not going to do that, sir. Right, okay. So every week I'd have the same old guy. Oh, are you actively job seeking? It's like some of Little Britain. Are you a job seeker? So, and back then it was newspapers, ringing everyone. I could get a job like tomorrow, but I wanted my HGV, and I kept saying to them, look, you're going to pay me for 6 months to stay on the dole and then give me my HGV. Why don't you just put me in for my HGV now? Look, I'm ready to go. I've got jobs lined up, and that's what I want to do. No, we can't do that, sir. So one day, this guy Graham was a little bit patronising to me, and I didn't flip because I don't do that. So he started saying, you must be, started having a go at me. I said, whoa. I said, just talk to me nicely, and he wasn't. He was getting a bit shitty, so he probably had a hard day. So at which point I said, look, I said, you don't have to talk to me like that. I said, look, I said, you can't stay off work 6 months to get your HGV. I said, why not? I said, well, give me my HGV. We're not going to do that. I said, well, don't worry about it then. Give me 6 months and then I'll be gone. I'll be doing my HGV and working. Get hold of the head management, change the policy, go hold of whoever allocates the funding. I said, it's crazy to sit there and only pay people who are off work for 6 months. So I said, look, I said, it's quite simple, isn't it? Because he said, you can't do that. And I said, no. I said, but what I can do, I said, I can take this chair and throw it out that window behind him. And he looks behind him, at which point the security guard comes over and stands behind me. I just looked at him, big lad. And I'm just like, and he'd seen me every week, so he knew I wasn't an idiot. So I said, look, I said, I can take that chair, throw it through the window. No, you can't. I said, well, I can. It's not a big chair. I said, I'm quite capable of throwing that chair through that window behind you. You can't do that. Why not? Because you'll get into trouble. Okay, what will happen? Well, we'll call the police. Okay, and what will happen when the police turn up? You'll be arrested because it's criminal damage. Right, keep going. What will happen then? Well, you'll get taken to the police station. Keep going. And he sort of saw where I was going on this. I said, and then I'll get a criminal record, won't I? Well, yes, probably. Right, so I said, if I pick up a chair, throw it through your window, yeah, get a criminal record, okay, I can then come back in here and you will give me my HGV straight away because I'll have a criminal record. Well, yes, I suppose that's right. And he just signed me thing, and then every week I had about another month to go and he just signed my card and off I went. And then literally as soon as, that was quite funny though, as soon as the day, literally to the day, it was 6 months, I got an appointment to go down to Red Roof and start my HGV driving. And I told my mate and he says, oh, I think I told my dad, and then my dad said, come back from work and said, oh, you know, you'll go and do your driving training with this company. This is the next day, right? They'd gone bankrupt. I'm like, what? Yeah, I saw one booked in to see him tomorrow. So I rung up the job centre and said, look, I'm due to go down to this training company. And they said, oh yeah, they're bankrupt. We're trying to organise another one. I said, but you didn't think to tell people. I said I would get hold of the people that you've already told they've got to go down there. Oh yeah, we should do that. So I would have driven all the way Red Roof to find a closed company. So anyway, I then had to sign on for another couple of weeks, which was really annoying, until they found another provider who could do the training, and that was brilliant. Oh, I loved it. I used to think I was a good driver until I'd done my bike test, and then I thought, shit, I'm a shit car driver. Then I did my HGV and realised what a shit car and bike driver I was. Completely changes you. It's a complete mindset change, what it used to be. And we were drilled into ourselves that we're a better standard of driver because of the training we've had, and we are professional operators. So I'd done that. I went and got that. I went and drove lorries for a bit. Was driving lorries in London, which was very strange actually, because I used to deliver worktops in London. Well, I used to do the whole southwest, so from here, Southampton, Pompey, Bath, Bristol, that lot, and then London. I used to spend a couple of days in London each week. So I quite enjoyed driving my lorry in London. There wasn't anywhere I couldn't go, except for there's a couple of bridges that they put narrow bits, and you go down the bridge, and then you can't go down there. So I'd done a bit of lorry driving, and then I went and started driving plant, heavy plant. Big stuff. I had a few little menial jobs in between, litter picking, taking the weed out of the boating lake. My first job was when I was 7 years old, picking golf balls up off a golf range by hand with a bucket. And I used to get 12p a bucket, and 50p if one of the heads come off the woods, the golf clubs. Sometimes the heads would come off and fly out on the grass, and he used to line us up, and we'd all have to sprint, and whoever got it got 50p. It's never fucking me. So I'd done lots of jobs, done a bit of debt collecting. That was quite interesting. Used to do a bit of debt collecting. Not debt collecting as you think Gruffy Rob might do debt collecting. This is loans for you. So it's a tally man, what they used to call tally man. So I had a few moral issues with that, doing that job. Giving people money, loaning people money that was like, you loan them 500 quid, they pay back like nearly 7. So they were paying a lot of interest. But it would have been okay morally if it wasn't mismanaged, okay? And I had to look at it. I had people who were really, really rich who had no credit. They had no credit rating. So they would take out these loans with me and catalogues. They had catalogues going, they had credit cards, they had me to build up a credit rating, a credit history. So they done that, and they ended up getting a good credit rating by always paying with me, because that works on their credit history. So what would happen is you'd take a loan with me, and then each week I would come to your house and get money, and you pay me, and I get 10%. So a lot of them, average was like 25 to 30 quid. So I get £2.50 to £3 for everyone I visit. But some of them just used to leave the money in the electric meter box for me, so I never saw them, you know. And they would sometimes ring me up and say, oh, can I pay you double next week? Yeah, of course you can. Or someone would ring up and say, oh, I can't make 25, can you take 10? And I'll be like, yeah, of course you can, but I'll make it up. Yeah, fine. Now that's how I ran it, and I also it was so mismanaged. I mean, I got quite upset near Christmas, and they said, right, you got to loan out 40 grand. Now for those Cornish people, I'm going to tell you where I was doing my debt collecting. Camborne Red Roof. Talk about getting blood out of a stone. And I got in a lot of shit in that job, because I ended up leaving that because they wanted me to loan out £40,000 to people, and I wouldn't do it. I was going around doing like loan consolidation before loan consolidation was like the in thing, and I would basically get, look at this asshole, we're coming to like the end of the road, as it were, dual carriageway, and he's doing that. Now he's going to slam his brakes on it. Poor little van. So if you want to go, mate, you can go. If you want a bike. So if you're going to go, go. All right, don't go. So I said we'll do a bit of loan consolidation. So I used to take all their mismanaged loans, because they were meant to give me like £120 a week. They couldn't afford that. So I loaned them, and they had like 10 different loans. So I turned around and said, right, I said, we'll do this loan consolidation thing. So I used to give them a bigger loan, pay off all their loans, and start them on a new loan. So we didn't lose them as a customer, but it was at a more payable rate, so they would pay it off. So I used to do that. You're going to love this, I then got told I can't reloan them money to make a consolidation. I need to loan them more than they can pay off, and I said I'm not doing that. But it was quite a good thing. I mean, a lot of people have been with this company 20 years. I got payers that hadn't paid for years, I got them paying, and then I got told off. So I then got told off because I was getting them to pay, and they said, oh well, if we didn't get them to pay for a certain amount of time, that meant that they could write the debt off. I'm like, but that defies the point of being a loaning business. If you're loaning money and then writing it off, just get them to pay. And most people pay the collector anyway. They're not paying the company. If they don't like the collector, they ain't going to pay. So that was quite good fun. So I enjoyed that until I left. And then I've been making play equipment. I got a job making play equipment, which was quite good. Which was really good, actually. Really, really good. 48-hour week building play equipment, but we were on flexi time. If the surf was good, we'd ring up my mate I worked with, and he would ask his missus what the surf was like, and if the surf was good, we'd clock off and go surfing. but then we'd be in at like 5 o'clock next day to go and carry on. So I'd done that. I loved doing that. That was the best job. Worked with a Steve, who we used to have Steveisms. He used to talk shit, just talk shit, like shit, proper shit. Like, come in one day, he goes, yeah, I was up on a track day on the motorbikes, and yeah, I'm going round, and these guys come past me, and I fucking waved them because they were being fucking knobs on the track. And then when we parked up, you never guess who it was. It was only Valentino Rossi and Cole Fogarty, wasn't it? Which big motorbike racers back in the day. And another one he did, and I mean, maybe it was, dropped in on Prince William surfing. So I don't know if they surfed, they possibly did, but that was why I fucking dropped in, and this guy, security guy, come and told me off. Maybe he did, don't know, but it was just so far-fetched and all day long. So Steveisms we used to call it. So yeah, that was fun. And I worked in the same unit as this big guy. He's like Boise from not the young ones, from Only Fools and Horses. Oh, brilliant. Called Sid. Oh, I love that man. He was just like Boise. White tash from London. One of the Hewitt brothers. Any South London boys know the Hewitt brothers? And the girlfriend I had at the time did. Her dad was a Londoner, and he did actually know of the Hewitt brothers. There's 6 of them, I think. Sid was about 6'3" and the smallest boxer. Passed his HCV test in a in a tractor unit back in the 50s. His driving test in a tractor unit in the 50s. Oh, just a wonderful, wonderful guy. And you've then got who else have you got? What did I do? Yes, I was building play equipment there. So tractors, Land Rovers, lorries, all out of wood for kids to play on. So that was quite good fun. I really enjoyed that. But then Sid died, and everyone started smoking weed in the place. And they would smoke weed and then drive a forklift into my play equipment that I made, which was a bit annoying. A lot annoying, actually. Hey, that was nice of him, wasn't it? Get out of the way of him. Thanks, buddy. My God, a BMW driver that was sensible. Gave me a flash and let me out from that big lorry. Knew I was going to get stuck there. Not that I minded in Prius, but never mind. So I did that for quite a while, actually, a couple of years. Enabled me to buy my land. I bought a little piece of land. Now this is all things that I got up in the book, because there was lots of silly things that happened. Managed to buy a piece of scrub land, 5 acres, worthless. No one wanted it, a bit of a swamp to get to it. So I had that for a couple of years. I put in a new road, let the council tip there. Had an ex, split up with a missus. Her boyfriend was setting fire to stuff that I had down there. Set fire to my Prius, Pamela. Set fire to Pammy. Oh, excuse me. Set fire to Pammy. Was shagging me missus behind my back. So yeah, that was a fun time. That'll go in the book. It's always good to have the shit experiences. And if I didn't have those experiences, that wouldn't have made me who I am, and I wouldn't be with my little Argentinian. So yeah, it's all good. And I learned to use a proper cant. So that was quite good. So you don't need friends like that. So I then tried to put it in my mum's name because I got diagnosed with cancer. Holy shit. That was a fucking head fuck. Out of nowhere. It's a strange smell in here. It smells like bum. Very strange smell. I don't really want to sit behind this big lorry because he's too scary. I don't like sitting behind tankers. So I went and got cancer. So I had testicular cancer and then lung cancer. So the double whammy. But saying that, is that the best thing in my life? Was that the thing that switched my entire belief in who I was, what I was, and what I could do? Because it's a head fuck. Oh yeah, check out my other videos on cancer. It's a head fuck. Now, fun times? there were fun times, lots of fun times. Got treated like shit. Had a really nice landlord. He was lovely. Knocked on my door at 9 o'clock at night. Bang, 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 like a policeman knock. Yes, open the door. Just to let you know, I'm keeping your deposit like I'm keeping theirs next door. All right. Okay, fine. Proper arsehole. And again, why someone would want 15 properties and treat their tenants like shit. And I was a good tenant. So yeah, that was quite scary. Was bringing up another girl. She would sit on my bed with me while I was going through chemo. I had 9 weeks of chemo. Check out the other chemo videos. It's pretty horrific. But there was lots of funny things that happened. So I used to have some funny experiences. Vomiting very quietly was one of my specialities, apparently. And because I'd never used to sleep, I used to vomit quite quietly. There'd be loads of stuff on cancer going in the book. I could write a book just on cancer. Getting kicked out of the flat, going to live on a conservatory floor, my mum. I can then talk about my land and my planning, trying to build an eco house off-grid. No mains electric, no mains sanitation. I think there's a video on that. That all went to shit because planners turned around and said I would be reliant on a private motor vehicle, so that's the car. I used to drive past a piece of land twice on the way to work and home. No, you can't build there. That would lead precedent for everyone else. At which point my reply to the planning officer is, so hang on a minute, you would have someone building a sustainable off-grid home on rubbish land that is no use for anyone, using about 20, not even 20% actually, probably 10% of the area of the 5 acres, planting 2,500 trees to offset any carbon emissions, which I did anyway, building out of cob, which is one of the most sustainable things you can build out of, earth, so to mud up, and then using that business to help the Warrior program, which is veterans with various issues, wounded veterans. The young offenders and all the schools wanted to be involved, and they put the writing in and letters to the planning as well, and they fucking refused it. Plus, I couldn't get a bloody mortgage because I've had cancer. So, yeah, that was quite interesting. Then, they started prosecuting me for the storage of building materials because I had a pile of granite there. What a bunch of fuckers this planning is, the county is, Cornwall. To the extent when I went to a informal planning meeting with a planning officer and my consultant, because I had a planning consultant, who was just a brilliant hippie. He was ace. Yeah, I'm getting past this one because I have a funny feeling he's going the same way as me and he's going to stop at every single house. So he's going up there, look. That's a chemo thing. So anyway, so that was a real shit thing in my life, to have that, to do everything right and get turned down because of that. But when I had this informal planning meeting, they said the best thing you can do with the land is sell it to the campsite next door because they've got a vested interest in that piece of land. Move away from the area, Cornish boy, move away to Devon because Devon will look favourably upon cob as a sustainable material and part of the heritage of the area. Buy a plotted nuki. Buy a plotted nuki at $1 million an acre. Yeah. And you'll love this one. Buy a house. Okay, you'll love it. Buy a house. I can't see because of my misty thing. Buy a house, knock it down, right? So you knock the house down. Okay, you're gonna love this. It gets better. Knock the house down, build an eco house on top. Like, that's sustainable. So we just stay away from this bad boy because he's got a lot of juicy Lucy in there, and we don't like juicy Lucy in a lorry. Scary stuff. Okay, so that was an interesting thing that'll go in the book. Obviously loads on me travels. The cancer thing, being cheated on, that's going to go in there, and how I found out about it, that's quite funny. Finding condoms. Found a condom, which whenever I used to, bit graphic, whenever I used to finish with a condom, I used to tie the wrapper, tie the knot and put a wrapper in it, tie a knot, or put a wrapper in it, tie a knot, chuck it in the bin. And one day I was emptying the bins and I found condom wrapper, no wrapper in it, condom with no wrapper in it. And when I said to my girlfriend, "Whose is that?" Oh, it's yours. I'm like, "It's not mine." "Yeah, it is." "No, it's not mine." And a couple of times I got in her car and I went, "Cool, it smells of sex in here." "Oh, one of the girls had a blowjob." Yeah. So, loads of these things, and you just thought, it's a bit, but you look at it now and you think, you fucking bug. She paid for her boyfriend to fly back to Mongolia and visit his wife and kid. But she paid for it with my money because we had joint account. So, yeah, don't. I know. So, yeah, so that was quite a fun time. Or not fun, as the case may be. So that's got to go in the book. I've just done shitloads. There's so much stuff that's happened to me, some good, some bad. All in the same time I'm riding horses and experiencing that. I used to go around people's houses to break their horses in with ragged. And we used to drive around and they used to film us with great big camcorders and stuff, because a lot of horses get sent away to be broken and get fucked up. So we used to say, well, we'll come to you. So we used to charge, I think we used to charge like £25 a session, and this would go on like a couple times a week, 3 times a week maybe, sessions, and that would go on and we'd break the horse in. And all our horses would stand. That was a thing that people used to say when they used to ride our horses. "Oh, all your horses stand, don't they?" Like, you know, when you try and get on, they walk away or something. No, you tell ours to stand, fuck me, they won't move. They'll be like that. Usually because we'll spend one of those sessions literally just on standing, because a young horse will want to move forward and fidget, and we'll just spend time training them on to stand. You could go up into the field and go, "Stand," and they would stop and look and wait, which is I think one of the most important things ever with a horse. Manners are the most important thing. So anyway, did that. Used to have my own horsey, only just got rid of her a few years ago. Oh, whoa, check out the sunrise. Holy cow. I don't know if you can see the reflections. Holy cow, that's so orange. I'm going the wrong way. Whoa, that was mental. That was just like a whole car filled with orange. Whoa, mental. So yeah, I've experienced loads. What else have I done? Oh my god, motorbikes. Got to put motorbikes in there. Huge part of my life. Love my motorbikes. Passed my test in 2021. I was what, maybe 25? 24! Oh, fuck off, mate. Jesus, what was that? Fucking hell. What a fucking bellend. Someone just pulled out in front of me with a tractor on a forklift on the back. Yeah, I know, all the bloody operators are going like bastards. No operator's license for him. Just load it on a trailer and stick it on a tractor and then bumble down the road. God, there's so many things that have happened in my life. Been cheated on, had cancer. Gets better though, life continues to get fucking better. So I sold my land in the end. My mum was like, "Oh, some battles you can't win," and all this lot. So I thought, right, well, I'm going Australia. So the plans were to go Australia with the girlfriend, different girlfriend. So she's like, "Well, you can't do anything until you sell the land." And my mum's like saying, "Yeah, well, you can't think of going anywhere until you sell that land." And well, no, mum was saying that sometimes you can't win battles. Some of these battles you've just got to admit defeat on. I was going through chemo, I had enforcement on my back, and I just couldn't do it. So Mum was like, oh yeah, maybe you should move it, maybe you should like get rid of it, maybe you should do this. Oh, well, I'm not going to get past him now, am I? Yeah, I ain't going to fucking do that one now, wankers. So I was like, oh, okay. So I sold it. Then said to girlfriend, right, let's go. At which point, she moved in her